Hello everyone. Today we will go over ECDIS setup and operations. Let's start with the inspector's guide. What is he most likely to check on this matter? Display management. That is, he will ask you to show display mode, orientation, information layer, presentation library, security settings, and so on. In general, to check your familiarity with SIRE itself. Alarm management. This is your familiarity with alarms. According to your company's policy, creation, export, passage planner, route verification, how and when you perform it, use of observation methods, visual bearings, radar observation. GPS automatically plots the fixed position on the chart. We use additional observation methods for position verification. Use of parallel indexes. Be sure to check that after mooring, the last parallel indexes were entered. The inspector is very likely to check this as confirmation that you actually used them. Safety depth and safety contour should be set according to the calculations from your passage planner. Safety frame is the same as look ahead, AIS radar. Other way, how to enable and use this function, raster charts. Even if you do not use them, you should know what limitations exist when working with raster charts. The main limitations are image degradation when zooming in, no route check, no safety alarms, scanning, what is it, where and when do we need to enable it. We remember that planning is on, monitoring is off, and scanning is activated in case of route deviation, as we need to have all the information on the charts if we go beyond the EXTD. CAD SOG, the same. What is it and when to enable it? How is it calculated? There must be a company poster of CAD SOG on the bridge. Also, if you do not use CAD SOG when calculating CQC, there must be a risk assessment on this topic about the exclusion of CAD SOG from the calculation. Actions in case of a failure of one, ECDIS or both. That should be outlined in your company's policy. I also recommend preparing a risk assessment for this situation.
The inspector may also check the update of your ECDIS.
Expected evidence. Here we see that the inspector will check the company's procedures for using ECDIS and that we follow them. Also, the inspection of navigation checklists, specifically their correct completion and understanding of what is written there, what is very important. Not just checking a box, but understanding what exactly we are marking. Records confirming the update of the electronic data interchange system. In my company, I receive dates through the chart planner. There you can also see the number of the latest update. I have Furuno electronic data interchange system installed. On this ECDIS, there is a function called update log. By opening this window, you can see when and which updates were installed. Records confirming periodic tests of ECDIS. In my company, again, this information is indicated in the PMS system. That is, I do a monthly self-test, and once a year it is necessary to verify symbols with chart 1. Records confirming that ECDIS settings were periodically checked during the transition. Again, for this we have an ECDIS checklist. Filling it out confirms that you have checked all the settings before taking the watch. But let's not forget the important point that safety settings are changed either by the captain or only with his permission. It depends on what is written in your company's policy. Be sure to check this point. Next, we move on to the possible remarks section for this item. The company has no procedures for using ECDIS. The company has procedures, but they do not contain information about display management, alarm warns, safety contours, and so on. We must remember that the safety contour equals the safety depth. The shallow contour is one contour less than the safety contour, and the deep contour is set to no less than twice the vessel's draft. The navigation assistant is not familiar with the company's policy related to the use of ECDIS. The navigation assistant is not familiar with the functionality of ECDIS. ECDIS is not operational. In case a defect is identified, a risk assessment must be conducted and everyone should be informed about it, starting with the company and ending with the pilot and VTS. By the way, it is important that information about this defect should be included in the master pilot exemption form. This is very often checked, regardless of whether it was recent or 6 months ago. Secondly, this is not a backup system. Incorrect settings were made during the transition. To avoid this, all changes must be taken from the passage plan. But again, we return to what I said earlier. Changing settings either by the captain or with his permission. There is no information on the chart about when and what settings need to be changed in the ECDIS. Just 3 days ago, I had a rating and he asked me a similar question, to which I replied that no, we do not include such information, but I showed him where in the company policy it is highlighted in bold that only the captain can change the settings. And after that, we moved on to the next question. The topic was closed. In conclusion of this point, I want to say that almost all your answers should start with the words according to company policy. All our actions are according to our company's policy. Thank you all.